Hello everyone, and welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Lafayette for the MSEM format. I'm Caillou, and today we're going to be watching the round 2 match between Emily and HonchkrowDavid. Emily is on Blitz Dredge, which is kind of the boogeyman going into this tournament. It's an 11 land deck, which basically functions much like actual Dredge. Um, so Emily's going to open up with a turn 1 Malice Crafter, off the Spires of Call, which is a Torment land, which is kind of one of the biggest enablers for the deck. They allow you to. The important part is they allow you to discard a card to make them enter untapped, and so that free discard is pretty strong. It's going to cast a Deathrite Cultist and a Silent Wanderer off of this, and then has access next turn to. I was going to say Deathrite Cultist plus Umbredu Goliath, which would be very strong, but it looks like David has the out of body experience, just going to exile that. Emily still has the Umbredu Goliath the next turn, though, but David has the interaction suite of. Actually, does not have Pit. Oh no, it has Pithwell because of Lonely Dunes. So we'll be able to Pithwell to the Umbredu Goliath and then be relatively fine. Also, I realized I forgot to talk about David's deck. He's on Abzan Humans, which is a tempo-ish deck, which also has like obvious like aggro synergies with its lords and stuff. But the main thing is that it's a toolbox hateberry deck, because you have a Scion of Fecundity to go and find up various toolbox creatures. Also, an interesting thing is that Paragon of Honor plus Shawlbinder is essentially a permanent removal spell, so that's another angle of attack for David to like confront this on. Like after David Pithwells the Umbredu Goliath, Emily is just flat out of stuff to do, and then while these 1/1s are still getting in beats, of course, David can just like next turn Paragon of Honor that can block the Silent Wanderer. Ooh, a Putrid Lurker actually hurts. Is gonna Hazy Coppice, and then immediately discard Putrid Lurker to it, and then cast it off of that. So that's an additional complication, unfortunately. So he gets a swing for 5 this turn. Next turn, David probably plays Paragon of Honor. Flashes it in to block the Putrid Lurker. Oh, it has an out-of-body experience. But I don't know if you want to give Emily more flyers now is the issue. Because that's like a powerful reach. I think you just you play the Mana Ascetic, and then you can throw the Paragon of Honor in front of the Putrid Lurker at instant speed. No, okay, he's going to Shawlbinder to kill the Elemental token. I guess the Shawlbinder also trades off with the Putrid Lurker, and then the Paragon can block the Silent Wanderer without having to block... can block the Silent Wanderer without having to trade. Nightmare Riders is currently uncastable, and you usually don't want to be in a spot where you're casting it anyways. This is a pretty bad spot for Emily, all things considered. Especially because her deck doesn't have reach. And David having another out-of-body experience means that like a second Umbredu Goliath isn't even that bad. So David passing, I think, is planning to flash into Paragon of Honor to eat the Silent Wanderer. Departed Evangel is actually pretty good here. I think this one just gets out-of-body experienced, like, next turn, but, in response to Silent Wanderer attacking, it's just going to Paragon of Honor and eat it. The Evangel is annoying because, you have to out-of-body experience it, and then it's just like, oh, okay. He's going to run out the Spellbane. Isn't going to attack with the Paragon. I guess wants to trade with it? But, like, Departed Evangel can't block, so if you're planning to, why would you do that? I guess, unless you don't want to use your out-of-body experience on the Evangel, but... Okay, hard casting a Malice Crafter. You don't see that every day. So David's going to trade the Spellbane Adept for the Departed Evangel. But Emily can keep casting it. So if you keep trying to trade with it on board, you're going to lose out on that pretty quickly. Which is why I think David should have out-of-body experienced it. And he's going to out-of-body experience the Malice Crafter instead. That feels like a big mistake to me. I don't know if there's something I'm missing, but Malice Crafter you're fine with trading with. Departed Evangel, I think you really want to... run out your exile removal. If you're going to run out your out-of-body experience anyways, might as well run it out on that. But David top-decking another Mana Ascetic. Not really a great position for him, because doesn't really quite have the clock on Emily. Kills in 9 turns, while Emily kills him in 8 with her current hand. Okay, plays the Gilded Gulch, sacrifices it to add 1 mana, and uses that to get the green needed to cast this Nightmare Riders. Then swings in with the Elemental. The Nightmare Riders is actually huge because it means his Paragon of Honor can't attack through. And a third mana ascetic. Jeez. I'm not sure why Emily didn't just cast a Departed Evangel there as well. Like, definitely could have done that. Okay, he's gonna swing. Oh no, actually, no. Yeah, Departed Evangel, Paragon of Honor. Only stops only stops non-cast recursion. Because Departed Evangel says you can cast it from your graveyard, Paragon of Honor wouldn't actually stop Departed Evangel, which I don't know if Emily realizes, which might be why Emily is not casting this Departed Evangel. Okay, so for now, David's just going to use the mana ascetics as chump blockers for the Nightmare Riders. Spellbane Adept is a little bit better because it means that David can double block and kill the Nightmare Riders. Still loses both creatures though. And now Emily has a Ceaseless Stalker. Which, like, again, Ceaseless Stalker plus Departed Evangel is really strong. And I think this is kind of like the crazy part about the deck, is that, I mean, this isn't insane, but like, usually like you expect like blitzier decks, if you like can stop their early plays, they should be fine. But Dredge, because of stuff like Departed Evangel, Ceaseless Stalker, has a pretty good grinding game plan, even in this more all-in version. But oh, Servant of Akatosh is a great top deck, and can now start, actually use Servant of Akatosh's like activated ability to top a Shawlbinder. Emily's gonna swing for the hills, trades the Mana Ascetic and the Spellbind Adept for the Nightmare Riders and Ceaseless Stalker respectively. And Monument to the Fallen Man isn't super useful. I think David would rather prefer to hold up the mana, use Servant of Akatosh's ability so that you can get back Shawlbinder to kill the Elemental. Okay, he's just gonna pass. I think David's passing because he's afraid of a Putrid Lurker. On upkeep is gonna mill 2 because of the Nightmare Riders. I think still hasn't realized that she can cast, because Emily cast Departed Evangel, both of them, brings back 2 Ceaseless Stalkers. That's just game. Okay, yeah, he's gonna do it now. Departed Evangel. Okay, on end, David is going to just recur the Shawlbinder with Servant of Akatosh, and now can, was just gonna Monument to Fallen Man to be able to flash in the Shawlbinder. Also, what I said about the Ceaseless Stalkers was very wrong, because Ceaseless Stalker just gets eaten by the Paragon of Honor. Schengen Renegade. That's another creature. As long as Emily keeps hitting creatures, should be kind of fine, because David doesn't have a way to bounce this Shawlbinder, so... Yep, and Schengen Renegade also has Revive, so... Also, David doesn't want to trade this Paragon of Honor, so he's going to Shawlbinder in, and then trade Shawlbinder for Departed Evangel. Oh no, he's also going to trade the Paragon of Honor. Oh no, Paragon doesn't need to trade. So Paragon just eats it. Main 2, Emily can recast the Evangel. Isn't cracking the Gilded Gulch to cast the other one, though? I think that might actually be a mistake. Like, what else? I guess if you're worried about future turns with the Gilded Gulch, but like, I feel like Gilded Gulch just kind of guarantees you're going to be fine. I mean, sorry, not Gilded Gulch, but double Evangel. Also, oof. David top decks the Scion of Fecundity, and that makes this so much harder for Emily. Can just search up another Shawlbinder. I was going to get a Servant of Akatosh. The Servant means that Paragon can cleanly eat Schengen Renegade, and also gives David a counter clock. Okay, Putrid Lurker coming down. In response, David's just going to flash in the Servant of Akatosh. And now Emily's going to cast a Departed Evangel. Okay. I guess it was really just saving the Gilded Gulch for green mana in case Emily top decked another Nightmare Riders. But like having access to being able to attack with this turn might have just been better. So going to swing for the hills, but Paragon can just eat the Schengen Renegade. Scion of Fecundity kills the Putrid Lurker. And next turn, David gets to revive a Scion of Fecundity and do it all over again. Or hell, just even play the Servant of Akatosh. Yeah, he's just going to pass, because now can flash in the Servant of Akatosh and just make everything incredibly huge. Okay, on upkeep is going to mill 2 off of the Nightmare Riders in Graveyard. Didn't draw? Not sure what that was about. Yeah, Emily didn't draw for turn unless I missed something, so... That seems like a problem. Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's not, like, if you miss your draw for turn, I guess that's just your fault, but wild. And also on end, looks like David's gonna top the Shawlbinder again using Servant of Akatosh. This seems pretty over in David's favor, Because now David counter swings for... No, yeah, David has lethal on board. So that was a pretty back and forth game. I think it really just came down to that Paragon preventing the Ceaseless Stalkers from being able to be revived. And also that that clutch Scion of Fecundity to be able to tutor up another creature, because like getting another body that you can put in front of a dredge creature plus tutoring up your like any card you want is just so huge. And yeah, literally, David wins on a single life. Okay, let's look at sideboarding and see, because I think that even though David managed to clutch that one out, I probably want some faster cards from the side. On Emily's end, I don't think that she needs to side in anything. None of these cards are particularly for this matchup. You can bring the Choking Despair, I think, but like I don't think you need to, and I think the main deck is strong enough without them. And then for David, Paragon of Honor number, how many is that? Paragon of Honor number 4 seems like a good idea. Root Dancers are, oh God, like there's so much good stuff in here. Like, I think the Root Dancer is more for the, for like slower decks and for like Chop Shop and stuff, so probably not for here. Paragon of Honor can come in. I think Sigil of Radiance both of them can come in. Chains of Subdual, I don't know. I don't think that Chains of Subdual is for this variant of Dredge, so maybe not. And Chains of Subdual doesn't actually work against the Torment lands because it's as a cost, I think, and it's not to cast a spell. So yeah, I could see Sigil of Radiance, Paragon of Honor, and then what are you out? Probably, and like Monument put up a good showing there, but like I think it's mostly a dead draw, so I think you can out 3 Monuments, 1 Paragon, 2 Sigil, and then just be fine with that. And Emily, going into game 2, keeps at 4. Notably, this 4, though, is probably going to have Ombridu Goliath plus Zing, so I think it's kind of just hoping to, like... No, okay, it's going to bottom Zing. I guess it's just... I feel like I would just play Ombridu Goliath there. I don't know. Oh, no, keep Zing, yeah. But, oh, it doesn't have a way to ditch Zing is the problem. Actually, it does. Has a Choking Despair. But I don't know why Emily wouldn't just play Ombridu Goliath. Like, you have no other plays. Like, just go for it. Meanwhile, David did keep in some Monuments, it looks like, and actually has a really good curve here. Turn 2, just plays the Monument, then can flash in the Shawlbinder if need be. Has out-of-body experience, has Scion to tutor. Ulfric is really strong. Yeah, this is looking like lights out for Emily. Just has not been getting the draws she needed. Yep, on end, David is gonna Shawlbinder, exile the Gilded Gulch. Okay, so it looks like Emily's gonna use Choking Despair to discard Zing and a Creeping Crypts in order to kill the Shawlbinder because of Choking Despair's Mirage cost. And then David's just gonna play High King Ulfric. High King Ulfric means that Emily can no longer cast this Ombridu Goliath. And this other Ombridu Goliath. Which is why I think Emily should have just run it out earlier. I don't know why Emily wouldn't have run out the Ombridu Goliath earlier. It really boggles me. I think like barring some miracle, I think David just, like this game is just over. David can now just play a Lonely Dunes or something, have out-of-body experience up plus a Scion. Like... And is just going to keep gaining life off this Ulfric, so... Yeah, he's going to play Scion of Fecundity. That does cost 3, David. You don't need to tap all your lands. Okay, he's going to grab a Paragon of Honor to like, clean this up. Surprised it wasn't a Servant of Akatosh, because I think you can just mow down Emily now, but I think... What would David be worried about? I guess a Zing in Grave is a little bit spooky. Wants to have the Monument up for that. But yeah, David really just played played this Sunset Sands untapped, because I believe he paid 2 life for it, and then paid 4 for a Scion of Fecundity. And yeah, Emily's just going to concede. There was no way out of that. And that's kind of the problem with playing that linear of a deck. As a trade-off for its explosive draws, which can sometimes kill even turn 2 or turn 3, sometimes you just hard brick. But yeah, I think David's Humans deck it being a new brew, has kind of been showing its legs here. Uh, Seems like a good meta call for this tournament, and at this point is up 2-0, so it'll be interesting to see where it goes. And Dredge, which is the boogeyman of this tournament, um, like the Blitz Dredge, takes I believe its first loss throughout this tournament. So we'll see if that streak continues, or if the Dredge decks will be able to high roll their way into the top 8. But yeah, until next time, this is Caillou signing off.